First time.
Fucking shit, this fucking timeline is lit all over. It's over. World's biggest Alex Joner. Holy fucking cow, this fucking timeline is all over. It's over. World's biggest Alex Joner.
All of my sexual fantasies involve handcuffs.
Fucking shit, this fucking timeline is lit all over. It's over. World's biggest Alex Joner. Holy fucking cow, this fucking timeline is all over. It's over. World's biggest Alex Joner.
All of my sexual fantasies involve handcuffs.
What is going on, world champions? Welcome to another episode of the Third Continental Congress. Beautiful Sunday here. Beautiful roasting hot Sunday. Let me give you a wide-angle view here real quick of this incredible gear that our resident artist Dodger has got me, and then we'll go to the chat real quick. Number one, it's getting complete now. I've got the mug, the Harambe mug. This incredible bill. I'll stand up later and show it off. I'm really happy about this. Thank you, Dodger. It's nice to have our own artist. Joining me today, wrong button, but self-aware Harambe phone, how are you? We're going to keep your anti-Semitism to a minimum today, if you would. Joining me today, though, Mihaly Sogor.
How we doing?
Did I say your name okay?
That is right, Mihaly Sogor.
All right, welcome. And we'll get to your story here in the first hour. It is incredible. I'm glad you were able to join us. I see you're repping the McCormick for Senate shirt.
And I am. Wasn't on purpose, just the only clean shirt I had. I'm still voting for the guy. I'm happy to be here.
So, chat, let me say hello to y'all real quick, to you folks. I love the word folks. You know I love the word folks. And the Deacon, Johnny Mojak. There he is. Good day, my fine people. Our guest host, who has been out for quite a while, the Deacon, is going to be back in just a few weeks. The timing is going to work out great with this new studio we're going to be building. It is going to be awesome. So I see you there, Deacon. You said keep an eye out for you. Say hello to the Deacon Mojak, if you would. I'm going to turn that off and put on our really boring, low-level jungle music here just for something to listen to and pray I hit the right button. Mihaly.
John.
First of all, explain how Mihaly is pronounced Mihaly.
Well, it's a Hungarian name. It means Michael, actually, so it's really not that, crazy, but to some people it is. And
Does Sogor mean anything in Hungarian?
it does, but it actually is a very unpopular name. Both names aren't really anything you would hear if you went to Hungary. Mihaly is like something that they named their kids in like the 1800s. So
oh, okay.
Nobody's really had the name
Well,
Mihaly.
I was just wondering if you if we anglicized your name, would you be like Mike Jones?
No, so Sogor is just a small name from a small village in Romania.
It
means something, but I'm not even quite sure.
It's like indicative that your family's from that area.
Yeah, pretty much.
So Mihaly, you are a young buck, number one. Which I hate to realize how old I am now, but you've got involved as a volunteer.
I have.
And I think you have two main stories I want to ask you about today. But the first one let's start with is Give me the rundown on how you got involved in local politics. As a young guy, most of whom don't seem to really care.
No, and that's the truth, and that's sad. But honestly, I'm just a guy who got pissed off, and I went to a local town meeting, borough council, and I went there to simply ask them to remove the gay flags from all the sidewalks. It was, at that point, 9 months after Pride Month, so I kind of figured at some point they would get around to it, and they never did. And I went there with what I thought was a pretty middle-of-the-ground approach. I said, hey, you guys wouldn't allow crosses. You guys wouldn't allow, KKK, Confederate flags, anything like that. That would be the far-right position.
Yeah.
Maybe we just put out American flags and hometown heroes like every other small town PA.
So I didn't even realize that part of this story. This wasn't even during Pride Month that you...
No.
Okay.
No, it was like...
I thought the whole story, that I already know the story, I won't tell it, I'll let you tell it, but I thought it was during Pride Month.
No, that would have been funnier in a way, but no, it's more frustrating because I went there and I just said, let's put up American flags, hometown heroes. I told you what the far right position would be. You're taking the far left position of putting gay flags up everywhere. The whole meeting was about how do we get more people to move downtown. I said, maybe make it a place where everyone can be. I don't have to take my child downtown without giving him a lesson in sexuality, but... No, that's too much to ask for, apparently. So in the middle of my speaking, this very, very rude lady, I forget her name. I wish I did know her name.
Yeah.
She tries cutting me off like 5 times. I just kept talking. I didn't really care. But finally, like, everything shut down. She standing up yelling at me. She's like, hey, sir. This is not your time to speak. And I hold up their itinerary they gave to me before I went to this meeting started. And public hour was the first thing listed. So I said, well, I was actually supposed to talk an hour ago, and you guys have made me sit here this whole time for no reason. And he said, no, we need you to wait 2 minutes. And I kept trying to speak, like, no, you need to wait 2 minutes. So, okay, step back. I'm sitting there behind the podium, and, of course, at that point, a bunch of their interns and purple-haired lesbians come up and start filibustering, just trying to waste time, so I don't get to speak. I'm standing behind them the whole time. They're giving their impassioned speeches about absolutely nothing, wasting everyone's time again. Then I finally get my chance to speak again, and as I'm about to step up to what is now the public hour, which was supposed to be 2 hours ago at this point, they all stand up, bang a little gavel, go, do. Meeting over, meeting adjourned, everyone. Nice to see you. And I'm sitting there like, wait a minute, you guys told me I was going to get my chance to speak.
You're like, so this is going around now. I don't know how much social media you consume, but I've seen this happen at like other local meetings lately as people go up to address their grievances and they just break the meeting or end it and walk away. This happened to you before it was cool, you're saying?
Yeah, I started the trend maybe.
And then that was never got another chance, right?
No, so then admittedly there was 4 or 5 good-hearted people, we'll call them, stayed behind to listen to my spiel. At that point, I'll be the first one to admit I was a little angry, a little emotional, kind of let them have it for no good reason, because at the end of my speech, they then told me, well, we're actually part of the zoning ordinance. We can't do anything for you. I said, well, thank you.
Oh, my God.
Thank you. And I said, well, what can I do? That's how I ended it. I said, well, you can write them a letter. I said, are you joking me? You're going to write them a letter? They can't even listen to me speak when I'm right here. And I'm supposed to expect them to not just throw that letter right in the nearest trash can is what I said.
So it's 9 months after Pride Month, right, or something like that?
Yes.
They still have the gay flags up downtown. You go to a meeting, or maybe you say, this seems ridiculous. What do I do? You find out you can go to a meeting.
Yeah.
They spend 2 hours letting lesbians talk about nothing.
Yes.
You finally get up there, and they just...
They didn't want to hear it. They weren't here for it. So now there's this guy. The only name I remember, his name's Ezra Nannies.
Ezra Nannies.
Maybe even Nans, Nons, however you say it.
Okay.
Don't like him. He's a State College Gavin Newsom. You heard it here first, and I'm going to say it now.
State College.
Smells like hair grease and sulfur. He's a bad person. And the second I started speaking, he gave me this dumbfounded face, like I was saying something from out of this world. He couldn't even
get that face on the.
He couldn't believe it. It was crazy.
And then you this is what I think, I'm laughing aside this. You were like, this isn't enough. I'm not quitting here.
Well, yeah, and I said at that point, I'm leaving the meeting. And I go, well, I really have no choice now. If they would have just let me talk, probably would have gotten nothing and nothing would have happened, but I would have never done anything again.
That would have been the end of it.
Yeah, but now I'm like, I have to ruin their lives. I have to do something.
And I'm not trying to out anything. You can talk about your volunteer work or no?
Yeah, so just through some connections around town, I've lived here my whole life, and it's really a small town for those that don't know it. And when the students are gone, especially, you kind of walk around, you know everybody. But I ended up getting in touch with Michelle, who you've had on here before, local
Center County GOP chairwoman.
Yep. And started out volunteering for her and still doing that and just, trying to take on as much as I can, trying to do what I can to help.
And some of this willingness to fight quite harder than the average person seems to be possibly genetic. I don't know. But you have a pretty incredible story. You told me the very super short version of it. I'm hoping in this first hour you'll kind of give us a more detailed version plus any history or context that might help us understand. But your name, obviously different looking. You act and sound and are, I would say, in many ways totally American. You're born in the same hospital I was, we found out.
Literally, yeah.
But clearly, relatively recently in your family's history, they moved from somewhere not America to America.
That is correct.
Set the stage first. Where did this all begin?
Well, I could give you the Putin answer where we go back 2,000 years.
I was kind of actually hoping it might kind of go down that way. Your family is Hungarian.
That is correct.
But lived in Romania.
But from Romania and what is technically called Transylvania. And
you had an explanation
for
why that was.
And when they hear that, Transylvania, they think, oh, like Dracula and vampires, which was actually a real person. I've been to a couple of his different castles.
You look like fucking related to him, man.
Don't bring any silver around me. I smelled garlic downstairs.
I'm gonna bring up
kind of
later here. I'm gonna bring up a picture of him.
Vlad the Impaler, man. No, he was a bad guy. But he had a purpose, so they kept him around. He
was all right.
He killed Turks, he killed Ottomans, he kept them away from Hungary, so Hungary kind of used him until he turned against Hungary. But that's a whole side story. Long story short, my family was part of the Hungarians that are now living in Romania, in modern-day Romania.
I think it's important. Why are Hungarians in Romania?
So post-World War I, it was called the Treaty of Trianon, and that's just those words are enough to make any Hungarian want to fight you. You think I'm joking, but you go there and everyone has something to say about it.
When I laugh at fighting, it's because I find fighting hilarious and fun. So
no, you love Hungary then.
Anyway, I'll shut up.
No, you're good.
So not like modern day boundaries of Hungary, but pre. Go ahead. You know it better than I do.
Yeah, so it's the Carpathian Mountains split through right in the middle of what would be modern day Romania. And Hungarian borders historically had gone up to the Carpathian Mountains, and that was their natural defense, sort of how you would see any country looking at geographically.
Makes sense, yep.
Why they have these borders, mostly because there's a river or a mountain there. And that was how Hungary was laid out, and even went all the way down to what is modern day Croatia. Post-World War I, half the population overnight no longer lives in Hungary. The borders totally shrank into just this desolate flat land that is now modern-day Hungary with no natural defenses. One city, which is Budapest. Something like, it's crazy, I don't know the exact number, but it's like 60% of the population lives in one city of the whole country.
Wow.
Yeah, no, don't quote me on that, but it's something quite
I get the idea.
Yeah, no. And so just basically as a country that had everything taken away from all his industry and was mining, was in the Transylvania and the Carpathian Mountains, and then this seaports, the access to the sea they got taken away from. So they had nothing. Overnight, done.
Okay.
The country is one of the poorest countries in the world. You could actually, it's weird when you go over there for the first time. I'm just trying to think, like, back when I was a kid, like, the things that stuck out to me. Like, I had a $50,000 bill, and that's worth, like, $20. It's yeah, like, it's called forint, and they have, their money is absolutely worthless. It's hilarious. But they refuse to use the euro because there's so much national pride in themselves.
Yeah, I respect it.
Yeah. So you're just paying, like, I don't know how much this is, but okay, here's 150,000 forint. I guess that's a good deal. Maybe it's not.
Breakfast taco, and it's like $17 million.
Yeah, you won't find many tacos in Hungary. They're very culturally
I
strong.
Actually, in my head, spent a second there before I said that. I was like, what's like a Hungarian food? And I couldn't.
Goulash.
Oh, yeah.
Goulash, paprikash. It's good stuff.
Right on. So they got fucked over.
Yeah. Long story short, they got screwed over, and my family then was stuck in Romania.
Even though they haven't physically moved at all, they're now in Romania.
In a village of people that only speak Hungarian. Okay. So they're in Romania. They're now Romanian citizens, only live in a village that has
And
Hungarians.
this is your grandparents? Great-grandparents?
Great-grandparents, grandparents, uncles, aunts. Everyone that still lives there is from grandma down.
God, this buttons I rearrange. Okay, and so then your dad is the one who...
Yeah, so my dad was there, and he lived under Ceausescu, who was an extraordinary man for unusual reasons. He was not remarkably good at anything he did, but somehow became an extremely powerful dictator.
Interesting.
And I say that when you look at like a young Stalin, he's like this handsome, like, you could tell he was going to be somebody when he grew up. Like, you look at that guy, and then you look at, I don't know, like these strong leaders, and they have these pictures and these paintings, and even, Hitler, the way he would speak, you would say, oh, wow, geez, gosh, I don't want to be fighting these guys. But
Yeah.
Ceausescu was good at nothing. Absolutely terrible at everything he did. Ugly, couldn't speak, couldn't manage people. But that's almost the part that makes it funny, in the sense, whereas, like, he was so remarkably bad, but was able to gain so much control just through communism and just dictatorships.
Of dumb and whatever, just average or...
Yeah, there's this really cool moment in time where he's giving a speech on top of the People's Palace, which is actually the heaviest building in the world. My uncle was part of the crew that was carrying blocks up hand by hand to build this freaking palace.
Okay.
He tells stories about the people that worked on the tunnels underneath. You never saw them again. They were, KIA.
It's like the pirate captain buries the treasure and kills the guy.
Yeah, exactly, exactly.
My God.
No.
All right. Right
And-
on. It's a fun place.
Yeah, and there's this really cool moment in history where he's giving this speech on top of the building, and he's trying to, like, quell the crowd down, they're all booing him. It's the first time it's ever happened. And you just see this look in his eyes where he just realizes it's all over. When the crowd just won't stop booing him, he just kind of turns around and is, like, real scared, and he just walks away. And eventually he takes a helicopter, and it's a very famous picture of him taking a helicopter off the roof, and that was the beginning of the end before they killed him.
Let me see if I can pull this up. Do you have any idea how to spell his name?
Oh,
Say it again.
I'm bad enough with Hungarian. Romanian's even tougher.
Just say his name.
Ceausescu. Nicholas Ceausescu.
Chow.
It's like, you'll figure it out.
That'll probably get us.
Yeah,
There
that's how
he
you spell it. Yeah.
All right, so we're talking about this.
Now look at that. Does that look like somebody that would be a strongman leader? That's what I'm talking about.
Oh my God, you're not kidding.
No.
That is a strange-looking human being. Ceausescu is how you say that. Okay. And then there's a famous picture. What are the odds it's in the Wikipedia article? Was it 1972?
Oh, I'm not the guy to ask on specific dates here, but
Well, let me do this. I'll copy his name, and then I'll put helicopter, and we'll
Yeah.
see what comes up. Just so we can live this memory with you.
yeah, no.
And images.
Right there, you can see it.
This one?
Yep.
Okay. That's the picture.
Uh-huh.
So he freaked out. He got out. Continue the story.
Yeah, so, I mean, that's, in the meantime, my dad was living there, and he had tried to escape Romania one time previously with his sister. They went across the, I believe, Slovakian border to the north. Ended up getting caught by the, I don't know if it was military police of that country, and they sent him back to Romania.
Oh, okay.
Sent,
Wow.
Sent to jail in Romania. His sister.
So he was jailed for that.
He was, yes.
Okay.
Him and his sister both. Then he joined the military. I don't know if it was, I think it was a forced sort of, you got to go to the military now.
Conscripted or
Here's
whatever.
your AK-47 and go stand in line. And he tells funny stories about that time period where he and like three of his friends, the only ones to speak Hungarian, and they have no idea what's going on. They're getting all these orders yelled at them. I'll just follow the crowd, I guess. It's just, I don't know what's happening. So after he got out of the military, he ended up getting a construction job close to the border. The village that he grew up in and my family still lives in is actually relatively close to the border, but it would be like a 3-hour drive because the roads are so bad.
Okay.
But it's like
3-hour drive.
from here to Altoona, basically.
20-minute walk.
Yeah, no, it's ridiculous. It's like these winding dirt roads, and you're passing gypsies, and they're like carts with horses. And
Okay. So
second time he escaped, though, he had a construction job along the border. They're on their way. They had it all planned out. It was maybe 20 dudes or so.
Oh, wow.
and one of the trucks broke down on the way there. So then they had to jam everybody in the back of one dump truck.
Wow.
And they just drive up to the border as the thing's rolling. They're all jumping out the back, and they start sprinting across the border. And the way he tells it is, the Romanians in the guard towers started shooting down at them. And they're running through these cornfields trying to get into Hungary on the other side. Because Hungary at this point had just made a new law and was in the process of getting rid of communism. They fell before Romania, and they had looser borders. They were getting people in.
Okay.
And so that's why they now were able to go to Hungary as before they didn't.
Is it fair to say that like Hungary was kind of like West Germany and Romania was sort of like East Germany?
At that time period, at that
Okay.
point, yeah, that's
Okay.
exactly what it would have been like.
Okay.
And so they're running across these cornfields getting shot at, and then they see the Hungarians are on the other side and go, what the heck's going on over there? They think the Romanians are shooting at them. They start shooting back.
Oh, Jesus.
So my dad's in the middle of a gunfight, and he runs across this cornfield, and he's taking me where the exact place where he ran across, and it's just cornfields, massive ditches,
you've been to that.
barbed wire.
Dude, that's cool.
Yeah. No, and he showed me the very building, the first thing that he did when he got to the Hungarian soldiers, and they could speak Hungarian, so that kind of,
Yeah.
put them at ease, and they're like, oh, okay, yeah, come on. They brought him to a government building, got him processed, and sent him on their way. They moved to Budapest thereafter, and my dad left his best friend behind to come move to America.
His best friend had made it to Hungary.
Yeah,
though,
they
so-
escaped together. They grew up in the same village together, knew each other their whole lives. Still
Is he still
good friends. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
If we go over there, that's whose house we're staying at. That
that's
sort of
super
deal.
cool.
Mm-hmm.
So they get two dump trucks like construction style.
Yeah.
Not like people movers.
No.
Earth movers.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
One of them breaks down. They say, "Fuck it, we're all getting in the same
Yeah.
one."
No, we're not stopping now. We're too close.
The dude driving this thing, did he jump out too?
That's a good question. That's not necessarily a question I have an answer to, but I would hope so.
Yeah.
I mean, it seems like he's in the worst spot, right?
So they jump out.
I guess if it's still rolling while they're getting out, I'm assuming that means he just booked it and didn't put any brakes or anything on,
I'm assuming he was in on it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Mhm.
They run the Romanians, the East Germans, if you will,
Mm-hmm.
start shooting at them.
Mm-hmm.
The Hungarians, who are the good guys, are like, why are they shooting at us? So they start shooting back in the middle of this. Your dad and his 19 friends are just running.
That's right.
And did they all make it, do you know?
I believe there was even some that he never heard from again after that day. Like, not even all of them were close friends. But
Oh, they
So,
kind of scattered.
as far as he knew, everyone that he cared about had made it. I'm
Okay.
sure they probably did at that point.
That is a wild, wild story.
Yeah. And then he came here to America. So this is the American dream side of the story.
Well, yeah. What made him, maybe you're about to say this,
Mm-hmm.
what made him want to continue on westward?
So he actually had an uncle who was living in York, PA at the time. He
Oh,
still
okay.
lives there, but that was his connection where he was able to get a working visa to come into America. And his first job ever was flipping hot dogs at the back of a place called... I don't want to misquote it because I know people are going to laugh when I say this. I want to say the Weenie Hut, and if people have watched SpongeBob, are going to say he's totally making that up. But that's what he told me was,
That's really
whether or
what it
not it was the Weenie Hut, the Weenie Shack, something along those lines. He's flipping hot dogs, and I forget, he told me at one point what he made. It was something crazy, like $2.40 an hour.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
He's way overqualified,
Yeah.
but does he even speak English at this point?
No. So he's working in the back of the kitchen. Eventually meets my mom through a friend, and then one thing becomes another. My dad goes to the culinary school, and he ended up graduating top of his class. And now both my parents are chefs. They have their own business, and just total American dream stuff where he came here, nothing, didn't speak any English, worked his way up from the very bottom, made it a reality, and now they have their own pretty successful company.
In Pennsylvania. Is
In
Pennsylvania's climate-wise kind of similar to Hungary?
Actually, it is, yeah.
I would think it
so
would be.
it's more, especially like the part of Romania that they came from, is very similar to Central PA.
Interesting. And does your dad, growing up, did he talk about this stuff and like the importance of?
He did. He always tried to make it clear to me like what he came from, and the classic. If I throw half a food, like a plate of food away, it's going. There's kids in Romania that would love to have that food right now. Always trying to beat it into me, like
He did the kids
Hey,
in
you don't
Romania, but he
realize-
actually knew what he was talking about.
yeah, you don't realize like how good you have it here. There's crazy stories you can tell about how bad life was over there. There was one time in the village where he went to a coal mine to work, and he was there for a day. Said, I'm not doing that. I can't. He came out covered in black, coughing. He's like, I can't. I don't know how they're doing it. I think I'm tough, but I'm not as tough as those guys. I'm not doing it. Or another time where there was a bunch of guys going, I think it was to the mine. They're riding in the back of like a hay trailer and a tractor, and there's a train track that crosses right on the road to go into the village, and it was a real foggy morning, and they didn't see the train coming, and it killed like 40 dudes. Just
Wow.
yeah, just very third world country things where I'm not joking. We have the Amish here, so it's not like crazy to see someone horse a buggy, but like that's a pimp my ride version of what the gypsies are rolling around in Romania.
Still.
Yes, to this day, yeah.
And just not by choice, just...
No, not by choice, but I will say in the village we live in, at least, the gypsies are kind of on the come up. They're starting to save up their money as opposed to just roaming around and actually buying property.
So you've been back to Romania.
Yeah, a handful of times.
A handful. When's
maybe
the
6.
most recent time you've been there?
Last summer.
Oh, so very recently.
Mm-hmm. We try to go every year, every other year.
Oh, that's really cool.
Mm-hmm.
And it's clearly like safe for your dad to go there, and they're not gonna put him back in the military.
No, there was a 20-year period where he couldn't go back, but since
they were like they were trying to.
I remember.
Wanted.
Yeah, the first time we went back, it was the first time he had been back to the village in like 20 years, and I'm like 10 at this point. And I didn't realize how big of a deal it was going to be when we got there. Like, people were like breaking down, crying, like seeing him, like,
oh wow,
like they're looking at a ghost, like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, why wouldn't they? Now that I think about it.
Yeah, no, like the one that got away, like he made it, and to this day, people still like tell legends about him. Like, I met, like, you go over there, you meet people, and you're like, this is actually your cousin, your 7th cousin, twice removed. Like, everyone's somehow related. So don't ask me how that works out, but you know, you go there and they all talk. Like, I've been there a couple times without my dad, and when I meet people, they're like, tell me about your dad. How did he do it? Like, how did he make it? Everything about his life. He's such an inspiration to all of us over here. And these are things I'm not even sure he knows about, but no, they really do look up to him. It's pretty cool.
Was he worried at all, like going back, or is it just all the?
The first time he was quite worried because we only had a piece of paper. He had to go to the embassy in Romania to get his Hungarian passport. So we just had this piece of paper saying he's supposed to be going there. And so it was kind of sketchy. And I remember flying to Romania the first time. We're in a twin prop plane that's like straight out of Indiana Jones. Like,
oh, shit.
And we land on the freaking runway in Kalusváros, which is Kaluj, Napoco in Romanian, but it was a Hungarian city. It's Kalusváros.
Okay.
And there's literal goats running off the freaking runway as we're getting there. And I'm looking at my dad going, where did you bring me? Where am I right now? I haven't seen anything like this in the movies. And this is real life.
So you don't think you're going to be moving there anytime soon? Or do you want to get back there?
So that's a interesting question. I would never move back there simply because of everything that my family's gone through to run away from the evils of communism and dictatorships that they've had to endure. I do truly see America as the last place. There's nowhere left to run.
That's how I feel too.
A lot of people, like Hungary is a very sympathetic to the right, we'll say it like that. This Viktor Orban and his government, a lot of people I've said that I'm from there, and they say, well, when are you going to move back? As in things are going better there now than they are here.
Well,
But it's not anything I really ever considered. I remember before I was even old enough to like comprehend why I thought that way, my dad had mentioned to me, maybe we should get a Hungarian passport for you, just because it's easier to travel between Romania and Hungary with a Hungarian passport than American. EU, you could just walk back and forth basically. And I just was really angry at him for some reason whenever he told me, like, no, you know, I told him I'll always be at least 51% American, and that passport makes me that extra 1%. That's what I told him.
Do you like my family is Irish.
Mm-hmm.
Not as recent as that, but I mean I think of myself as American.
Yeah. No.
That's kind of how you think of yourself?
Yeah, and I mean my mother's side goes all the way back to fighting in the Civil War, so I've always had like both sides where I felt connection to Hungary and seeing my family and the culture and the things they do and the way they act. I like that.
A unique part of the culture with your dad.
They're the nicest, most genuine, just real people you ever meet. I'll tell you this story. When I was my 19th birthday, I went over there with my best friend, and we were celebrating. It was the day of my birthday. The way the village is here's the village. There's like a mountainside behind it. It's more of a hill, but every family has their own winery up in the hill. So it's kind of like an old moonshiny movie where at night you see these fires going and parties off on the hillside. And we had this big party for my 19th birthday, and we were torn up. And I mean, it's not like we're drinking Jack Daniels. We're drinking just like the stuff that Miklos made, the stuff that, like it's all homemade wine, homemade moonshine. Before every meal, they have a shot of moonshine. They go Agashegadra, which means for your health. That's their medicine.
So everybody in Hungary makes their own their moonshiners.
Yeah, it's a big thing. They all make you try it every time you go to their house. Like just like it's custom to like stop in and say hi. You have to have a drink
and have the family's proprietary moonshine.
Exactly, and they all keep it in these 2-liter bottles of old soda bottles.
What are they making it out of? Like what certain?
So in America we make it out of corn, right? They're making it out of like fruits like plum and pears, and they have this weird fruit that is like a mix of a plum and a pear.
Okay.
And so. Yeah, it's a little different, but it's the same idea.
Do they make wine and then distill is there a lot of wine there too? Or,
there's a lot of wine. It's
brandy,
wine.
I guess.
It's wine country, if you will. Yeah. So everyone has their own grapes and making their own wine as well. But I feel like I just got off on a tangent there.
No, it's interesting.
Oh yeah. Okay, so here back to my 19th birthday. We wake up the morning after, and my friend says it's the lowest moment of his life because over there they only drink bubbly water. Like they don't have still water. Like the biggest thing to them is bubbly. Like they only drink carbonated. What we would call Perrier.
They don't drink like non-carbonated water.
No, very rarely. Very rarely.
Interesting.
And so he says the lowest moment of his life is being super hungover and waking up, and all he had to drink was his warm bottle of carbonated water. That was the only thing sitting around.
Why is that? Is there a reason they don't like?
They like it. For some reason, they do.
Just love those bubbles.
They do. I could never get behind it, and I'm always like the pain in the ass that makes them go an extra 30 minutes to a store to get me still water. But
that's what they call it, still water?
Yeah, well, bublish. If you say bublish, that means there's bubbles in it.
Still.
Yeah.
Most people have like water and then carbonated water, but they look at it as carbonated, like that's
opposite,
water.
Right, yeah. Mm-hmm. And I even remember the first time going there, my dad was trying to tell me, like, well, this is like the natural, how it comes out of the ground. I was like, no, it does not. I've never seen that in America.
Maybe it does. How do you know? Maybe it is.
I know, he had me for a little bit, too.
Maybe the aquifers in...
I think he was just trying to get me to stop complaining, to be honest. And then, so we go to Hungary for a grand opening of their brand new national team stadium, and we have a good time there, but the next morning we wake up, and we're staying at my cousin's house, just pounding on the door, and he's at work. And we're like both like walking down the hallway looking at each other like, do we open this door right now? Like, does Miklos have like beef with somebody? Like, somebody here to collect debt? What's going on? Pounding. It gets louder and louder. Finally, I open up the door, and it's my aunt, and she's holding my jacket that I left in Romania the day before. She had hitchhiked on the back of a freaking 18-wheeler, and he's out there honking for her to hurry up, all the way from Romania to the middle of Hungary, overnight, hands me my jacket, gives me a hug, and runs to the back of the truck. Didn't see her again after that trip. That was it. That's just the kind of people they are, though. Like, I'm not going to let him leave his jacket here. He's going to go all the way to America, and my jacket's going to be there. No, I can't do that. I got to go.
She hitchhiked. She
probably took a bike or whatever ride she could get to the nearest city and then got however she did to Hungary. I don't even know the story. There was no time to explain. It was just, here's your jacket. Hi, love you. Bye.
my ride's on.
Yeah. No, that was... My friend and I both looked at each other like, how is this a real place?
Hardy people, though. Sounds like.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I mean, they've seen the worst of the worst.
How do they feel about Americans? Like, I'm sure they like you, but
generally like America. I will say it's kind of like a 50-50 split in today's worldview of the people that are pro-Russia and pro-America, especially more so in Romania. There seems to be just talking.
Ooh, that's actually kind of interesting. Is there anyone that's pro-Russia and pro-America, or do they see
they
them
are?
As, okay.
And those are more the Hungarians. They're more pragmatic. Like, hey, listen, we need something out of both of you, otherwise we're not going to survive. That's just the reality of the situation. Hungary's a lot closer to Russia, but maybe ideologically believes in a couple more things that America does than Russia. But they get all their natural gas and oil from Russia.
Yeah, so they're kind of locked into it.
Mm-hmm.
Makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Do you know how they feel about Trump?
Absolutely love that guy.
Really?
In Hungary especially, yes. No, Donald Trump is a superstar.
Quickly, Circle Jerk 3cc, thank you. Thirst trapping, since been thirst trapping. Mexico must be empty by now, right? Recolonizing that ish hole. Sounds good to me. Maybe we should, you go recolonize Romania.
Have you seen that, though, that Trump's now saying he's going to send in special forces to Mexico?
I did not see that.
Yeah, it's apparently one of the things he's running on now, is sending in special forces to take out the cartel.
Well, I would be for that.
Yeah, it doesn't, at this point. You got to do something.
I lived in San Antonio for quite a while. I've illegally crossed into Mexico.
Yeah.
Did you know that?
They didn't arrest you?
No one even. So the huge joke of it is, when you get more east towards like the Gulf of Mexico, the Rio Grande does become quite a large body of water to the point where people are boating on it and shit. Huh. But if you get out even just as far as like West Texas, so in Big Bend National Park.
Yeah.
Let me actually, you know what? Keep forgetting I have the internet. Alrighty. So there we go. Let that load here. I'll get it in a new tab. Internet's fighting me today. So there's Texas, and yeah, you have this bend in the river, right? And so when I'm saying down and around here, it's quite a significant body of water. But you get up in here, it's probably like 2 inches deep, maybe 20 yards wide.
It's crazy because the map makes it look so small, right? But it's probably like the size of Rhode Island.
You look, you look to your right, and there is desert as far as the eye can see. Not a single building, power line, nothing. You look to your left, there's not anything. Mm-hmm. You can walk across it without getting your socks wet, without taking your shoes off, because the water is literally so shallow. So I walked into Mexico, said hello, and then I came back. But it is a total joke. Mm-hmm. It's just completely wide open. So you always see news about these crossings happening here.
Mm-hmm.
It's just meaningless because
that's really the
you go to you go visit the national park itself. The ranger will say, "Hey, if you're down at the river, some Mexicans might come across and just say hello to you. It's normal. Don't worry about it." They literally tell you that.
I saw a thing the other day where they were talking about way back when, like pre-World War II, how they just was no need for border security because people would go back and forth and work their jobs, but because cultures were so strong in both countries, nobody ever had a need to permanently move to either one. They could just move back. And
everywhere on the U.S. side, there's a road that goes along this border, and like you stop at a gas station, they don't speak English.
Yeah.
Which is not a huge deal or anything, but it's an interesting place. So
don't tell that to my dad. That's one thing that gets him going.
Because he had to learn.
There was no option to speak Hungarian, right?
If only this were all Hungarians down here in Chihuahua.
There would be no border problem, I'll tell you that.
No, there wouldn't. You guys sound like you guys. Well, Hungarians sound awesome. We live in this weird, like, I don't think we've quite fully figured out what an American is yet. You know what I mean?
No. I mean, it's such a young country, and people don't even realize how much bigger our history is than it is, because they only look at 1776.
Right.
Not realizing there's just as much time from then to now as there was from before then to 1776,
Mm-hmm.
A lot of things happened in that time period that were foundational in getting us to the revolution, and then from the revolution on, we've just given government all the power. That's my opinion, at least. Slowly but surely, we've given it all away.
Just letting it all percolate. Just letting it all percolate. That is an absolutely insane story, though. Number one. I'm glad your dad made it.
Yeah, I kind of went the opposite of Putin route. I kind of just went all over the place instead of going from the beginning of that time to now. But
that was a perfectly good story. We are practicing. Mihai is involved in this group of people that we're getting this studio set up. I hesitate to talk too much about it.
Man, you can't give all the secrets away.
Yes, but we're hoping within the not too distant future, the main point being before the election, we will have that up and running. I'm kind of hoping you'll do some content.
Maybe. It's my first time, so I don't know.
I dug up one of your guitar videos out there.
Yeah, it's out there if you look hard enough.
We got to make some meme music. Have you listened to any of my songs
I
yet?
have. I listened to a couple. I told you before, it reminds me of the old school Rucka Ali.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
I got to get you on a guest track or something.
Hey, I'm about it.
I was about to say hello to the chat quite a while ago, and I didn't. I totally skipped it, and we went right into the story. So let me say hello to the chat here quickly. I have noticed we've been having on and off frame dropping issues, but curious how it looks on whatever particular platform you happen to be watching from. I see Pilled chats, I see YouTube chats, I see an X chat. Rumble always seems to have a bit of an issue. Yes, I see the chat is almost... Let me just do a test here. Rumble test. No, it seems to be good. It seems to be good, but I've had a lot of people tell me that the Rumble stream has problems. Looks great on X. Good deal. Oh, that's the other nice thing. If we get switched over to this studio, we're hoping to get on fiber optic and all that fun stuff and have some actual professional level security for all the shenanigans that go on. Hello, Michelle over on X. I'm glad it's looking good on X. There she is. She's tweeting today.
Oh, there she is.
Our chairwoman. And I saw Mojak was here earlier. Mojak is coming back also. He has one final fitting on his new teeth, and he would like to get those teeth in before he comes back, which I'm in total agreement with.
It's better he can talk.
So we'll have him shortly. But a lot of cool stuff coming. I appreciate all the people who have been joining the live shows here as we've kind of just been coasting along, inventing it, and freewheeling on Sundays as we go. It's going to continue to get more serious and all that. We have I'm going to do a live stream of the debate coming up on Thursday, I believe. Let me pull that up here.
That should be a time.
Thursday, June 27th at 7 Eastern. So we're going to do a live stream for that. I'm going to continue doing some of the content you guys like, though. There's a new Career Ender video up. Everybody seemed to like that. Even the algorithm seems to want me to make those videos. So maybe I will. Pictish says it's fine over there on Rumble. Good deal. So chat, let me say hello to you guys real quick. Throw out a hello if you are there. Christopher Emerson, welcome. Fact Finder, like the meme. That's an old school music video. There's the Deacon. He's ready to come back and he's ready to talk. We'll get him on very quickly. Whenever you're ready, man, even if you want to come in before the fitting, I'd be happy to have you. But that's your call. Disco Daphne, welcome. Thank you. You have been awesome. Thos, welcome back. Ghost Pepper, welcome back. Lee Klinger, don't know if Klingler, censoring due to the elections. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of that. Looks good on Rumble, caught that one already. Greg J. Patrick Miller, welcome back. Gay Flag Football Month. I did see that. The Buffalo Bills started a gay flag football.
What?
Yeah. I kind of figured Mihaly and I would be a little more fun in the second hour. I wanted to give him as much time as possible to tell that fucking awesome ass stories and
I
stuff.
kind of butchered it too, but we're here.
You're fine. It's really weird, man, you did quite well. It's really weird to just get it. Yeah, I'm throwing your face up there. Circle Jerk, Elizabeth Foley, sexiest woman alive. Yeah, that kind of content, Circle Jerk. I'm going to be doing more of that kind of stuff. I don't mind making them. Man, if we get this studio up, we'll have just an insane amount of content that looks better than anything that anyone has done before. And I'm really looking forward to that. But Circle Jerk, thank you. Let me get that down real quick. Yeah, you're a fun dude when you're allowed to not be forced to have to try to tell this serious story. I think you did great. I hope you keep coming and showing your face on camera.
Hey,
it's amazing.
You have me.
That scares a lot of people. So. Then you hit a point after doing it for so long like me that you stop caring, and it just becomes a terrible show. It's all right. I've been stringing everyone along about this studio thing, but I haven't been lying. It's going to be the rare case of an influencer who makes some promise.
Yeah, right?
That actually happens.
Well, at least it's not a crypto scam.
Yeah. Oh, I should make my own coin. I should scam all of you.
That could how we get it started.
That's we got to think up of a coin like Harambe coin. Let me keep Jay. I did see you earlier, Jay, over on X. Jay's always holding down the X chat, and now Michelle joining on X, which is awesome to see. Functionally, at least, that platform seems to work pretty well. Polo, welcome. 100 degrees for 2 weeks. Yeah, it's hot as hell here too. I'm roasting in this Dodger sweatshirt, which looks awesome, but is very spicy right now.
Price to pay.
Deacon's going to talk to me on Monday. Yep, that is correct. We will see each other shortly. Joshua Burner is emming so hard right now. I'm happy to hear it. Who else? I must make sure I didn't miss anybody here. And for all of you joining for the first time or so, Robert Whaley, welcome back. The green name is a YouTube channel member. Gets you a couple special things that you can do that other people can't do in the chat. But we are at about 2:45 right now. Oh, Polo, raise hell, praise Dale.
Yeah,
John, keep
brother.
her going. Thank you, buddy. I'm kind of thinking, since we've hit a natural break point, that we just take our 10 to 15 minute break now. That'll bring us back right around 3 o'clock. You want to hang out, and then we'll do the fun stuff in the second hour, all this crazy, what was the gay thing we were just, gay flag football?
Gay
yeah,
flag
that's
football.
true.
invading Mexico.
Yeah. All right. So we are going to take here, Mihai and I, about a 10 to 15 minute break. I'm going to smoke cigarettes. You're going to
Watch you smoke cigarettes.
watch me smoke cigarettes. I'm proud of you for not smoking, man. I don't know how you can. I just wake up in the morning and I just immediately light a
What's
pack of
funny-
cigarettes. I light the whole end of the pack.
I'll say this before we go. In Hungary and Romania, they print out like the most disgusting pictures you could ever imagine on each pack of cigarettes.
Oh, like
Maybe like a warning,
lung
like
cancer.
this will happen, but it's way worse. Like things are like I don't understand how smoking cigarettes. So, like this guy has missing both his legs. How does that?
That's actually great, man.
Yeah.
I kind of want to like go to my local shop and make fake pictures. And put 'em on.
No, it's crazy. Like it actually makes you. I think that's probably why I don't smoke cigarettes.
Oh, because when it's like a decapitated, it's like war criminal scenes and shit.
This guy just got hit by a
cartel
drone.
victim.
Yeah. He's smoking a cigarette, gave away his position.
What's that have to do? All right. This is going to be the second hour is going to be that kind of content, but it is to pretty much 10, 15 minutes. We'll be back right around 3 o'clock. Mihaly Sogor and some guy named John Ward. We'll see you all very shortly. Hang around. Second half's going to be fun. We're going to talk about news, politics, and what's that say? More. News, politics, and more. We'll see you all in about 15 minutes. Take it easy.
First time. First time. First time.
It was a glorious cigarette. Mihaly had two. He was lying. He smoked two at once.
At the same time. You know what I'd do with $1 million?
We're back.
Yes, we are.
I someday will put a transition in there. It's 3 o'clock. We're back for one more hour 2 of the third Continental Congress, Sundays 2 to 4 Eastern. Special guest Mihaly Sogor. I highly encourage you, if you missed the first hour, to go back and watch that story. And there's apparently some more stories that we'll get from you over time. Pretty incredible amount of stuff. In this second hour here, you've agreed to hang out, and we're going to try to just have a little bit more fun. So news, politics, more beyond all of those things. Welcome back, chat. We're getting booted back up again here for the second hour. Let me just say hello. Shielded M10, welcome. Plick, welcome back. Kenny, welcome. Welcome, Patrick Miller. I believe I saw you before, but welcome back. Insidious Anti-Mason, welcome. Janice Phillips, Polo, we saw earlier. Chronic, there he is. Welcome. It ended. What ended? Hopefully not the stream. 0x0. Oh, wow. It did just get horrible. Hold on. This has been a problem, Mihaly, in that once they find out we're streaming, we start dropping frames. Chat, how is YouTube looking? How is Rumble looking? How is X looking? Pilled, I'm getting thumbs up from on. Still good on X. All right, well, I see something about 5x5 on YouTube. So was it Rumble that went down? I see a Rumble chat right there. I don't know. I'm over worrying about it. We're going to have this all resolved with the new place.
That's true.
The first thing coming up immediately here, Mihaly, is the Trump debate. Trump-Biden debate. Which has some, I don't know about you, but when Biden agreed to this, I was like, there's no fucking way.
I've been trying to work out in my mind what the play is ever since the moment they announced this. I think they're just at a point where Biden is polling so poorly in these swing states
that he
they're throwing
had
anything
to
out there. Yeah, I thought after the conviction that their excuse to me he's not going to debate a felon.
Oh, you thought they were going to back out of it?
I'm
Well, they
on
still
the
might.
boat. I'm on the boat too, where I'm like, I don't believe Biden's running for president. So every time I'm just like looking for some reason, Charlie and the string board, trying to piece it all together.
Yeah, no, I mean it's still not till Thursday, you know.
Yeah, anything could happen.
So that's actually an interesting critical thinking comment there. Instead of believing the path that you're given here, that it's gonna happen, maybe it won't happen at all. I feel like that's entirely possible, because I can't understand how this guy is even going to manage to be functional, but neither can the debate team apparently, because the rules are absolutely hilarious.
Is that a picture from the last debate? I think it is, right?
It might be.
It's just crazy. Go back and watch Biden in that last debate 4 years ago, the difference.
Compared to
and
now.
Even back then we were talking about how bad he is cognitively. Just compared to now, it's like a totally different person, which is wild to think.
Why can't I get this stupid ad off? All right, it's going to stay there. Trump and Biden will be the only two candidates on the stage after third-party candidates, including RFK, failed to meet the polling and ballot requirements to participate by the June 20th deadline set by CNN. That's right, it's on CNN. Sounds fair and balanced.
Nasty woman.
The debate comes as Trump has ramped up his campaign activity since the conclusion of his Manhattan hush money trial last month. They love branding it. They always throw hush money in there. Hosting frequent rallies in battleground states and courting donors. As the Biden campaign has increased its attacks against Trump, blah, blah, blah. I want to see the rules here. Here we go. Starts at 9 o'clock. That's already different.
That is wild to think.
I thought it started at 7.
Joe Biden is going to be... Why would they do it so late for him? You would think that they would be doing like, hey, let's do it at 5. before he goes to bed. Let's go 5. Which even, I don't know if it's everyone, but I know my grandmother had dementia and Alzheimer's. And nighttime was the worst time for them, whereas I would call her the werewolf. She would kind of turn into this different creature at nighttime where she'd be wandering around.
Well, Trump wanted Biden to do a drug test. Because they're definitely going to pump him full of all kinds of stuff.
That's the thing. The first hour, he'll be screaming at you with his eyes wide open. And the second hour, he'll be...
He won't blink at all in the first hour, and then the second hour, he won't open his eyes. Oh, CNN anchors Dana Bash and Jake Tapper. My God. What are the rules? Here we go. This I was reading it in my head, and I already started laughing. Here you go. There will be no studio audience, number 1. No audience. Both candidates will stand at podiums. Biden won the preferred right hand, of course. I'm sure that was a real coin toss. Trump won a coin toss to be able to make the final statement, although they'll just shut his mic off probably because candidates' microphones will be cut when they're not speaking, and they're prohibited from interacting with their staff during the 2 commercial breaks.
They'll probably cut it early if Trump's killing him. That's what they did in the town hall. They cut him off 30 minutes early.
What were the qualifications? They had to net 15% of support in 4 separate national CNN-approved polls. And qualify for the ballot in enough states to secure blah, blah, blah. Without the backing of a major political party, Kennedy had to petition to secure ballot access in most states, so they said, no, not you. This is actually, let me ask you this quickly. Robert Kennedy, do you believe he is running to try to take votes away from Trump or to try to take votes away from Biden, or he actually wants to run?
Let me answer your question with a question. Have you heard about this theory of him being the true shadow campaign, being RFK?
No, I haven't heard that, actually.
So it's a theory, and I'm not claiming this theory as my own, but a lot of people are saying that he's the one being backed by the deep state to try and take votes away from Trump.
Okay.
Whether that's true, I don't know. Polling seems to suggest that it's more so Biden he hurts.
So that's actually what I think has happened, is that he was put out there in an attempt to take votes from Trump, and they've realized sort of the opposite is happening. And so maybe CNN was like, maybe we don't want him on this debate stage.
But I also wonder, in a way, if the deep state sort of changed course after the whole October 7th thing happened. I hate to say it, but I think they might see Trump as the more favorable candidate now with the whole Israel thing going on.
That seems to be kind of the case. Quickly, Q Fragger, the Biden team are changing his sleep pattern so he wakes up a few hours before the debate. You're probably right. Quickly, if you're watching on YouTube and having lots of frame dropping issues, it seems like maybe one of the other platforms, so Rumble, Pilled, or X seems to be working quite well. You can grab it over there. We will figure out what the issue was, but we shouldn't have that problem here in a month or so because we are moving the studio location. But yeah, I think, RFK is just such a clown.
Yeah, and it's the whole worm brain thing, really.
It seemed like your classic case of try to take votes away from, get the third party guy out there. But it doesn't seem to have happened. So anyway, just Trump and Biden in this debate, for the better, in my opinion. All right, key background. After months of prodding, yes, that's correct, Trump was just trolling the shit out of Biden. So then Biden made this whole...
Yeah.
Did you see
do
that?
The 30 jump cuts in the 15-second video, yeah.
So I'm sure everybody's familiar with that. I won't spend too much time on that. Don't want to give Forbes too much ad revenue.
How do you think the guy that founded Forbes feels nowadays, since he sold to the Chinese and it's become super woke?
He's probably dead.
Is he? He might be. I don't actually know.
I don't know. There's a Forbes Avenue in Pittsburgh that I've walked up and down many times. I'm assuming it's the same Forbes. So yeah, Trump's like, you're retarded, Biden. You're not going to debate me. Biden pretended like nothing happened for 7 months until finally he came out with that 70 jump cut video. And then here we are, coming up on Thursday. It's scheduled. Here we go. Let's go. So Trump's campaign agreed to the muted mic rule after complaining about it in 2020. And the whole muted mic rule, yeah, this cracks me up, was implemented after Fox News' Chris Wallace struggled to contain Trump during the first debate.
But honestly, did it not help him in the second debate back then? Because everyone's criticism after the first debate was that Trump just seemed totally unhinged. Whereas the second one, he wasn't on such a rant the whole time.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe it will kind of accidentally keep him under control.
I think that's the way he wins. He's gonna have to go on the attack, but he can't. There's
Kinda
certain
keep
things
it like relatively reasonable. Are you
Yeah,
saying?
I need-
saying this
I
because
need-
that's how? Like, does some of the stuff Trump say bother you personally, or you think it like
no,
you're
not
young,
me personally.
Okay, yeah.
But I just think there's a percentage in a group of Republicans that do really hate some of the things he says.
Yeah.
I think I need more of like the 2016 "you'd be in jail" Hillary Clinton
Funnier
version of Trump.
Funnier and more fun, and
then they like attacking Joe Biden with a rant the entire debate.
I see what you're saying. I agree. I'm a bad political strategist. Part of me wants me just to see Trump go out there and be the fucking flag right behind me.
That would be funny. I just think so many things are in his favor right now.
It's don't snatch defeat from the jaws of victory sort of thing.
Yeah, something like that. Just play it cool and honestly, one thing I've always wished that like people would do is like when Trump's asked a question, I would just be like, Joe, why don't you talk? Joe, let me see how you would say it. Because if you can catch Joe Biden off guard with something like that,
Just get him to randomly, incoherently mumble. He'll probably shut off his mic and go, Joe, don't interrupt.
Yeah. Honestly, yeah.
Oh, man. Let me ask you this. As a early 20-year-old-ish, sort of whatever your age is, I'm kind of guessing, sort of early 20s, but past college, what issues do you care about? So you're not in school anymore. You're just starting.
To clarify, I did not go to school. I did go to school. I dropped out in the middle of COVID.
What, are you kind of smart or something?
Yeah, something like that. That's how I see it. No, I went to school, and then COVID happened, and I was sitting in my basement of my apartment because that's where I lived. There was 4 dudes, and I was in the basement, and I was like, had no idea what I was going to major in. Had to pay my money for the tuition. And
Yeah.
It all just seems like such a waste.
I wish I had taken a break and not just plowed through right after high school, to tell you the truth.
Yeah, but it's a difference. Like, I was in the beginning, I'd say, of like the whole like really waking up of like, is college worth it? Like it really started when I was there, and I don't regret it.
Well, and
I'm
you're
happy
like,
with my-
we were talking outside, but you kind of do more contracting, construction,
That's
work
right.
with your hands type stuff anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I find that stuff to be more satisfying on a
100%.
personal level.
I wasn't trying to make you justify your life's decisions. I was
No.
more going to ask you at your age bracket, which I consider to be roughly something like starting to think about family, house, marriage, career, that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. Like, what issues do you care about from your presidential candidate? Do you even care about, do you believe the presidents have any authority, or are they just puppets? All that kind of stuff. How does a younger than me anyway, how are you looking at all this?
I'll tell you, I look at it as I see immigration as being a big problem, and I wish that more people my age would understand how big of a problem it is. Whereas we're supposed to be the inheritors of this country, the next ones up, and they're giving away the future to people that weren't even born here, don't have any cultural values that we have. It's frustrating because people don't really see it like that. They want to be helpful and kind and whatever these liberals want to say these days, but
Yeah,
then you walk around any major city
I
nowadays.
just want to feel good about myself while this Mexican stabs me in
Well,
the throat.
I'll tell you what, I remember it was 2016, 2016, I was in Germany, in Munich, and walking through the streets there was a really, like, eyes-open sort of moment for me where I could see the Syrian refugee crisis playing out in real time. And
Wow.
walking through the streets, you're just stepping over these Muslim refugees laying on
So it really is like that.
Yeah, no, it was crazy. I didn't see a single white person the whole time I was in Munich. They were all just laying on the street with nowhere to go. And people were giving Hungary a lot of flack at the time because they weren't letting any people in, and they created a wall that
remember
actually
that.
worked. Yeah. And everyone was calling them racist. And now that there's all these problems with Pakistanis and
we need to
Syrians.
get illegal Hungarian immigration going, I think, is what I'm starting to realize.
They
Let's get all
take
those,
care of a couple problems.
let's get them all over here.
No, you'd be surprised. But the sad part is there's only 10 million people live in Hungary.
I know, it's not
Yeah,
many.
it's crazy. It's crazy.
It's not
There's more
many.
people live in Pennsylvania than Hungary.
Yeah, that's wild.
Yeah.
That's wild. Do you have any happen to know like how many Hungarians are alive on the planet right now? 10 million, basically. 10 million and
I would say it's somewhere between the 15 and 20 million range, probably all encompassing.
yeah. You're the majority, though, you oppressor.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, no.
And I'm from a totally different part of the continent, my ancestors, but we're the same.
Nah, that's right. Blue eyes.
We're white. We're blancos. How do you say white in Hungarian?
I actually don't know.
Trump.
Yeah.
Trump. So the debate, you're going to watch the debate? Do you want to come live stream it with me?
Yeah,
You got
no, I'd be
anything
down.
going on,
I'm totally going to watch it. And
Thursday
I'll be
night
down to be here.
at 9?
Yeah, I could do that.
You got any Hungarian moonshine you could bring with you?
Yeah, I could bring some. It's called Palinka.
What, you actually do?
Oh, yeah. My
Oh,
dad.
well, there you go. You're invited.
Every time we come back home, they send us with a freaking bottles of that stuff.
I want to try your Hungarian moonshine quite badly. So Thursday night.
We'll take a shot before the stream and during and after.
Okay, we're on the same page. We're on the same page. All right, so that is the debate. It's going to be this hilarious joke, totally tailored to trying to make Joe Biden not break down live on the air.
Before we move on, how do you think it plays out?
I honestly hadn't occurred to me that
It seems surreal now.
might
That's
not
actually
even
here.
happen.
Mm-hmm.
It seemed like on the one hand, I find it impossible that they're going to be able to get Biden into a state.
Everything logically would point towards there's no way this guy can talk for 2 hours, an hour of his time. But it seems like it's going to happen. The closer we get every day.
I kind of feel like Trump has been told that if he continues to insist that he's running for president, he's going to get assassinated.
Yeah.
Like, how can he's going to be a part of this and his whole team, and it's going to be impossible. Like, so no audience, right? No outsiders will witness this, but Trump's insiders will witness what I assume will be a Biden meltdown.
Yeah.
But, like, in some sense, it almost seems to be implied that they won't be able to say anything about that if it does happen.
Yeah. No, I understand.
I don't know. I kind of ask myself, like, why even bother doing it if you're Trump? Maybe the same morbid curiosity the rest of us have. Like, this can't possibly happen.
Yeah.
He did call Biden out a ton, and it took Biden forever to say yes. And so it's like
It's
if
almost
Trump
like, you can't
was like,
be the one to not
he's
do
got to
it at that
go
point.
now. Yeah. But I just can't. I think a lot of people think that it's not really going to be Biden. It's going to be some dude in a rubber mask.
Have you seen that stuff going around? You seen the picture of him with the different color neck from his face?
Oh, I think there's definitely people in rubber masks and shit. In fact, there's that famous. Oh man,
Who was it? The lady that showed up to
Yeah.
talk to H.W. Bush?
That's Do you remember what her name was?
I don't, but she was like the head of like the CIA costume
Woman
department.
CIA. I'm glad you know that.
Yeah, she talked to him for like a whole 30-minute meeting. He had no idea she was wearing a mask the whole time.
Oh man, I can't spell. Let's see what that does. Bush. I'm sure we'll get there. Yeah,
Yes,
right
yeah.
there. So this was all the way back HW. Right, so pre-2000. She put on a latex mask with hair and everything. There she is holding it up. Talked to him for the whole meeting. He had no idea. That's probably maybe a little better. Let me get that one up in its own tab here real quick. I did. Is that what I clicked? Did I click this? Well, there she is. CIA's former chief of disguise, Jonah Mendez. 27 years undercover, crafting wigs. There you go, like Mission Impossible kind of crap, if you're old enough to remember those. I'm not paying for this. But
It is wild to think that, late 80s, early 90s, they were doing that. What are they doing now? But
right.
the only thing that gets me is if it was Biden in a mask, some guy wearing a mask, why the hell would they make him this stumbling, bumbling fool? Why would he not be some smooth-talking guy? You know what I mean?
I think there's been somewhere he's been like kind of. Oh, well, that's just going to be. There's the one where he has that like weird ear tab. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, and how some pictures his earlobes are connected and other ones are
Yep.
not. Yeah.
I don't know if Google will even let us get that result. Is that it? That might be it. That's it, I think. No, that's not it. Oh, that's it. Right there. This little tab.
Huh.
You ever seen that?
No.
Hold on, let me get a bigger picture of it. All right, so I said image, and I'm getting a little tired of that. There we go. There we go. Right there. The fuck's going on with that?
Dude, is that a real photo? That's
I think so. And you can kind of see.
ew. I don't know. That's kind of weird.
I don't know, Chad. Is this a real photo? Patrick Miller wears latex on occasion. I see what you did there. I see what you did there.
Yeah, I don't know. Based off the material I have at home, I don't think it would hold up that well.
Is that a real picture? I've seen this before. And that is pretty, what do the kids say, sus?
Yeah.
They forgot to talk. Does anybody have the sauce on this, as 4chan would say? It's AI generated, says River Spirit 7, assuming you're talking about this. Let me make sure I have live chat up here and I'm not holding anybody up. Yeah, seems okay. Seems okay. Is this real?
Yeah, and the Patrick Miller right there with that's the Obama implant. That's the video that gets me more. When you see Obama, when it was Kimmel, where he's talking about if I could be president for a third time, I'd like to just sit in a basement with my sweatpants on and have somebody else running the show.
Yeah, somebody else like this guy?
Yeah, somebody like that guy right there.
Yeah, that's been a whole nother angle. Is this is we're in Obama's third term right now, in a sense.
Yeah, well, you know, they're best friends.
What about Big Mike? You think Big Mike Obama might run?
That, to me, is as funny as the meme is. I think that would be the scariest prospect for Republicans to run against.
You think Michelle would have a legit chance?
For no logical reason other than she's a black woman. They would prop her up so much, and she is a hero to the left. Just for the
She
sake,
definitely
just
see-
from being Obama's wife.
I just feel like there's too many serious left-wing people that would be like, yeah, I get it, but there's no way I'm going to vote for Michelle Obama.
The thing that might be holding her back, because apparently she's the one that doesn't want to run. That's the story out there. I think, regardless of whether you think it's true or not, she would have to address the Big Mike rumors. If she did announce that she was running for president, there would have to be a moment where she's like, by the way, I am not a man. And that would just be hilarious. Either way.
Just so everyone understands.
Yeah. And as she walks away, you see the big shoulders.
I hope I still have battery in this. Just so everybody can't even understand. Just so everybody understands.
Is that what you make your prank calls with?
This is that's the Harambe phone's voice, technically. Big Mike. Who would, if it's not Big Mike, so I do believe there's almost no way it's possible that Biden is actually going to run. Curious if anybody could verify this by the way, real quick. Very sus, looks like the preacher woman, blah, yes, in a mask.
Looks like Roger Stone.
Nobody has definitively answered. I forgot that's a fucking 4K. Make sure Harambe phone's got his screen up. Yes, I will say I'm wagering. I'm gonna just make this guess. I think it's not gonna be Biden. It can't be.
I won't believe it is Biden until convention's actually here and done and they've officially nominated.
And then you're like Hillary Clinton's making a strong play.
That would be.
I just don't see that happening.
That would be awesome. That's all I have to say. That would be awesome.
Kamala Harris is obviously so fucking terrible that
Can't use her, yeah.
no one's even pretending that she might be an option.
Mm-hmm.
Gavin Newsom, governor of California,
would be an interesting sell.
Seems like he checks all the right boxes, I guess.
Here's the problem. I think the miscalculation from their part is even liberals from other states hate California. Like everybody unanimously hates California.
I hear Gavin Newsom is pretty hated by like.
If you go to Massachusetts and you try and tell them about Gavin Newsom, they're not about it. I mean, even though they're as liberal, if not more liberal in certain ways than California,
yeah,
they hate him.
Yeah, he's kind of like I kind of think of him as DeSantis of the left.
Yeah. I always said DeSantis was Jeb Bush 2.0. Nobody wanted to believe me. Nobody wanted to hear it. Nobody listened to him talk before president.
DeSantis reminds me sort of like more quiet how Mitt Romney used to like get taken seriously as a candidate until people started watching him. I think DeSantis pulled the trigger. There was this whole move to try to swap. I still think let's talk about that for a second. So Trump is getting sentenced in July. Do you think he'll go to jail?
I don't think there's any reason to believe he wouldn't go to jail at this
I'm
point.
with you on that. And that's 4 days before the Republican convention. And there's already been floated little...
Nikki Haley's going to be there, I bet.
Yeah, Nikki Haley will be there. I don't see her getting taken seriously after what she's done. But I do see DeSantis' team making one final attempt.
Yeah, I'm curious. So they apparently had a behind-closed-doors meeting, I don't know, was it a month ago, a couple weeks ago, where they sort of hashed out their beefs. And there was talks.
Trump and DeSantis.
Yes, and there was talks about Trump asking DeSantis to run for Senate after he's finished being governor, as in that would be like... That's people saying that they think Marco Rubio is going to be the vice president and DeSantis takes his spot in the Senate. I don't know.
Fucking Rubio.
And yeah, we can talk about that too, who we think is going to be the vice president. At this point, I'm not sure. You could throw out 5 different names and I'd say, yeah, maybe.
I unplugged my headphones, hold on, in my excitement.
I wanted Vivek really bad, but that's the younger me. You know,
I missed the name.
Vivek Ramaswamy.
You want him to be VP?
I wanted him bad. It's looking like it's not going to be.
Yeah, I'm curious. So you like him?
I do, and I think we need somebody, in my ideal world, somebody that's going to carry the torch after the 4 years to go on for another 8.
I think he's doing the best job at putting up a likable brand. Do you trust him? That's my issue.
That's the question, because he kind of came out of nowhere, right?
It has nothing to do with him being Indian.
No and culture.
I mean, I'll be racist and say that it does and laugh about it, but for me, it's really not that. He's charismatic enough and polished enough in his charisma that I'm a little suspicious.
He's a smooth talker, and I'll tell you, to go the other side, the benefit of him being a little brown is he can say things that are way more extreme that white people couldn't get away with.
Like Candace Owens is crushing it right now for that
exactly,
very reason.
No.
I don't know, man. I sort of am coming around on Vivek. Just because I don't like anybody else.
You listen to him talk, and there's not a question I've ever heard someone ask him where he hasn't had a legit answer to.
Let's get the chat's thought on this too, because I know Vivek is kind of polarizing for all the world champions as well. And if you're so inclined, throw up who your preferred one would be. I see J.D. Vance from Michelle, a.k.a. Jeremy of the Quartering. I think they look the same. I can't help it. Vivek, part of the team for sure. Plick, I trust no one. But if he does what he says, you would vote for him. I mean, I think that's, if Vivek turns out to be the kind of guy he seems to say that he is. But he's what? He's like only a few years. He's not even 40 yet.
No, he's in his 30s, yeah.
Which is a baby.
Yeah, but that's kind of part of why I like him, being younger and just kind of ready to move on from the boomer generation in our politics.
Pictish likes Owen Schroyer from InfoWars. As cool as that would be, I find that hard to believe it'll realistically happen. Throw up your thoughts, chat. We're looking at them here. We're talking Trump's potential VP picks, and if you want also, since it's kind of on topic, if Biden gets replaced, who would replace him? Kind of the 2 main questions at hand today, right now. About 30 minutes left to go. I'm happy to just keep talking about this if we want to. But kind of one of the jokes here, I don't know if you saw this, what's starting to happen now is the propaganda with the polling. And so, like, Turning Point.
Well, I've seen this in a lot of national polls now are trying to say that Biden's up. But then you look at the swing states and Trump's up by a reasonable amount in all of them. So I don't know how that works.
What's kind of clever they do with the polls is they'll not include, like Turning Points didn't have Ben Carson. You could pick one, like who's your favorite VP candidate, but it was a highly selected list that was suspiciously selected. And so the one show we did a live stream on the top 8 that we got from the AP, and it turns out that that's not even a confirmed finalist list. And then Trump himself has said that his favorite guy nobody's even talking about, I think he said.
That's the thing. I think the only person that knows who the pick's going to be is going to be Trump, and he's probably throwing out a bunch of different names, different people. Just probably like Kim and Kanye when they did the whole thing with the baby names. You remember that? Trying to figure out who the rats were in their friend group. I feel like Trump's probably doing a little bit of that, trying to see who's leaking what.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, the disinformation to find where the leak is. New York Times is going to pay Wallace.
They got betting odds?
That's a good idea. Where's like did I get it? It's coming. Yes, money at stake is, I think, probably the best predictor. There we go. There we go.
Doug Burgum's a guy I think would be pretty good.
I'm kind of liking Burgum, but
He's kind of hilarious.
that's mostly, he looks like George Washington, and I just feel like that's biasing me.
He won me over when he came out in that first debate. He's like, they told me to come out here and break a leg. I took him a little too seriously and actually broke my leg.
So that's interesting. So the most money is on Burgum right now.
Yeah.
Then Vance, and then that's like a factor of 2. So about half. So it's really
A lot of people,
almost all the money is right there.
I don't know enough about him to honestly make an opinion, but J.D. Vance, a lot of people seem to not like him. I know Michelle just said she liked him, so. But
Yeah, Vance and is Vance the one that's friends with Ramaswamy? That they were like college roommates?
ooh, I don't know. I know Michael Knowles and Vivek Ramaswamy went to college together, which is kind of a fun fact.
See, college.
That's the funny thing. When you start to look into it, you're like, all these people have known each other their whole lives. They've
Well,
grown up
so
and-
yeah, the big faction we've kind of been keeping tabs on is like what is Elon Musk? What faction is that? Who's
Yeah.
involved in that? So it's DARPA, but also, and then he was friends with Peter Thiel, all that stuff, but I've lost my mouse on one of my screens. There it is. Gosh, I swear it was Vivek. And our chat is actually pretty knowledgeable, and I keep forgetting. I like to lean on the chat for their knowledge. Trump Kid Rock, that would be hilarious, actually. The Deacon, you like Vivek. You like Tim Scott. Kennedy would be the replacement. That would be hilarious.
Tim
JD
Scott, he's kind of a nothing burger to me.
Yeah.
I don't like playing the identity politics, and I just when he talks, he's not getting me to go into battle for him. Let's put it that way.
Yep, I'm reading your comments, Pictish, and you're saying Tim Scott is the obvious choice, which I think Zeb, our South Carolina delegate, would agree with you. Yeah, I just don't like Tim Scott. I just don't want it to be true, Pictish.
Here's the honest truth, though. Does it really even matter?
It's a good point. I think that's what this article was just saying here.
I think
it doesn't-
you're voting for Trump, whether you like him or not. You're gonna look at Trump.
The
before you look
people
at
that are
anybody else.
kind of talking about why it does matter is like some people are saying Trump needs to pick somebody who won't get him assassinated. Like that
Yeah.
would be even worse.
But see, I think that plays.
I mean, if
into,
they're
like,
going to
the Vivek.
assassinate Trump, wouldn't they just assassinate the vice president too? If there was
Yeah.
a problem, like I don't really think that's
Nancy
going to give him all that
Pelosi.
much protection, to tell you the truth.
Yeah. Have you seen the one about his plane being a Boeing now too, and all that?
Trump's is.
Yeah, so that's the conspiracy going around that his plane's going to go down. It's because it's a Boeing.
It probably fucking will. It probably will. And then we have the, it's all a game. Jeff Poor, welcome back. I don't disagree. My thoughts on that is if this is all a show, then we're so fucked that it doesn't matter. We've been slaves, and we have been for thousands of years. Like if there's some great cabal that's been running everything for, all of human history, and Trump is just as much as puppet as of a puppet as everybody else.
Well, yeah, the Illuminati actually started in Germany, and it was a nothing. Like, it was just this small political group.
You know your
basically.
history.
Yeah, and
It was a meme at first.
Literally, though, it was like the OG meme, where it was just kind of like this funny social club that somehow evolved into being on our dollar bill.
Pull this back up here real quick. Doesn't matter who the pick is. I'm reading Pictish, the purple name. Doesn't matter who it is. Next president who is who matters. Yeah, right. And again, like somebody that would protect Trump. I mean, if they're willing to kill Trump, then they're definitely going to just kill his VP too, if it's somebody that's a problem. So yeah, I'm kind of on board with that. I'm still curious though. Still curious. Jim Jordan, interesting.
Jim Jordan is a big talker with very little action.
I'm starting to get. I used to really like the guy like Trey Gowdy was like that.
Trey Gowdy was my hero, and then I realized how corrupt everything was when he just, in the middle of everything, quit to take a job at Fox. That's when I realized everyone's fake.
Yep. He was a letdown.
Mm-hmm.
Let me get back here real quick. Rand Paul, I heard, but I don't think it's going to be that. I saw somebody, Jim Jordan, legit president. Rick Grinnell. You know who that is?
I've heard the name.
He was the Trump's, what did he appoint him to? I do like him. I think he's smart. He's open. He was the first openly gay something or other, but he's conservative. Disappointing, says Trey. Let me catch the thread back up here. Just an act in the grand old plan. Very possible. Janice Phillips, repeat, John Ward, there's an astrologer who says that no one will be happy after the selection. There's an astrologer who says that. Well, I'm not looking at the stars, and I tend to think the same, to tell you the truth. Mike Johnson, go ahead.
The Hungarian people as a whole are probably the most pessimistic group of people you ever meet. Nothing's ever going to go right in Hungary.
Okay.
Even when times are good, they're just expecting the bad times to then come again.
Okay.
It's very
That's an
depressing
entire-
mindset.
The whole people's like that.
But part of that carries over to me here, where I'm honestly concerned what happens regardless of who wins after the election. And then I think there's a strong part of me that thinks the next president after these two is going to be someone we've never even heard of before, someone we don't even know exists, some strong man that comes out of nowhere.
Caesar or Hitler.
Yeah, exactly.
Circle Jick. Matt Gaetz. Yeah, he's an up-and-comer. I could see him in maybe 10, 20 years.
Definitely would not hate that, but unfortunately, I think he probably is more effective in the Congress at this point.
Mm-hmm. But thank you, Circle Jerk. Yeah, that's, how old is Gaetz? Curious.
That's a good question. I'll be the first one to admit I didn't like him at first simply because he just looks way too cartoonish.
He has a strange look, man.
And then more and more I hear him talking, like, dang, this guy.
He's a fighter,
about it.
man.
He's
I
about it,
always,
yeah.
the old Abraham Lincoln about Ulysses S. Grant when Grant was a general and Grant was a giant asshole, a fighter, in a good way.
Yeah, Grant would go like months without ever responding to Lincoln. And then
and they all wanted to fire him, and Lincoln has the famous little note that says, "I can't spare this man, he fights." Because he would fight.
He's actually quite an inspirational person, old Grant. He was a total failure, drunk, and I think it was his wife's family was rich, and he was just kind of the bum that got married into the family and then somehow became a great leader.
Mm-hmm.
People say he wasn't a good president. I don't know enough. I've seen cases either where he could be good and bad, but as a whole, as a person, he's a pretty cool dude.
It's kind of funny. Everyone gets to see that I made you sit in the far chair because I didn't want to move the Harambe phone. Quick hello from Orange Cat Good. Someday Black Cat Matters will decide to show up on stream. I don't see him anywhere yet, though.
Is that his name?
Yeah, Black Cat Matters. What's wrong with that? Orange Cat Good and Black Cat Matters. This guy's he's the chill one.
Yeah.
Let's see if I can get on here without too much cat in my stream. But, yeah, he must like you. He usually doesn't come out when other people are here.
John Ward 2028. Yeah, this is the start of it.
That's my nightmare is that I'll have to actually be some kind of a politician.
Right? Why don't you run for local?
I think I might. I don't know.
Yeah.
If someone tells me I'm needed in that regard, I'd rather do something more like what I'm doing now. What I always really wanted to do, everybody watching this knows this. I want to make a movie, man. You want to be in a movie? You want to make a movie with me?
Hey, Robert was trying to put me on commercials. Maybe I can be in your movie too.
There's only two things I've ever really wanted to do, and that is make a movie from scratch, like do as much of it as humanly possible as one person, and then build a house from scratch.
All right.
As one person.
No, that's sweet.
Which are actually remarkably similar projects.
In a way.
Yeah.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And so you got to learn a ton of shit to do either of those, and been on something of a mission for that. But
well, let me ask you this: what kind of movie would you make? Would you be comedy or would you be action?
Oh, I have a couple different ideas, but they're
I can see you making like a comedic horror movie.
Yeah, so that's actually one of the ones we're working on. And then I have my best idea that I've had and have worked on for quite a while is a true one person could make it, and there's only two human characters, but they're twins.
Huh. I know a couple twins.
Well, it's kind of about you could do it as yourself with a little camera magic. You know what I mean?
I hear you.
So play both characters. Actually, three characters, but one of them is an artificial intelligence. So you have three characters that switch between two bodies. But it's a serious idea, and
A little more Ex Machina vibe.
Yeah, I think that one might be the one that like pops out after I die. That I like never told anybody I actually made that movie.
Like Van Gogh. Yeah.
But no, we've been working on this funny idea. Harambe died for this. It's a horror comedy. And the basic gist of it is some content creators. So we play ourselves, like I'd play John Ward. Accidentally summon the spirit of Harambe in a seance with a Ouija board, which is actually sitting right over there, our prop Ouija board. And then he goes on a killing rampage. And they got to stop what they've unleashed.
That's hilarious. Even just a documentary of everything that's happened since that gorilla died, that would be hilarious too.
Well, you saw the studio pitch right on the front with Putin and
Yeah.
Tucker Carlson, and it all started with the gorilla in the
Cincinnati
Cincinnati Zoo. It really is rather humorous. Any final VP pick thoughts or Joe Biden replacement thoughts? Patrick Miller says, John, you have a bright future in the adult film business. I do. I'd be like Dirk Diggler. I'll change my name to John Jiggler. You know that reference? Boogie Nights?
I don't. I
You
know
haven't
the
seen-
movie. I haven't seen it though. I don't.
We got to get you to watch Boogie Nights.
I've only seen the scene where Marky Mark's on like the porch freaking out.
Rasta thought Toter Win was a great movie. Kitty. He's coming for you.
Funny if it just attacked me now.
He probably won't. Is he like... All right, so John Jiggler will be my adult film star name. Dirk Diggler, Diggler. No, Jiggler. Yeah, that's right. I see it in a bright sign. Big, bright, shiny letters. It just says John Jiggler. He's all right. Let him wander around. OCG, man, what are you doing? You literally, I can never get you to come on the show when we want you to, and now you're just like, yeah, we'll be live, whatever. Let's go to the chat real quick and give the cat a second to go about his day. Yeah, that is the cat from that video from way back when. But everybody seemed way more interested in John Jiggler than VP candidates or fucking anything else. I always heard your porn name was your middle name and then the street you grew up on. So, Mihaly, what's your middle name and what street did you grow up on?
Roby Roslin.
That's pretty good.
Actually, yeah, that's pretty good, actually.
That's a pretty good one. There you go. Oh, man. AOC, did we see it? It's really hard for me to bring myself to talk about.
Are they talking about her freaking out at
Yeah.
her pop-up rally or whatever that
Yeah.
was? Yeah, it was kind of funny.
We are pretty much there. I mean, it's about 3:45, and I'm a big proponent of not just like being like an influencer who just talks to hear himself fucking talk.
I hear you.
I think it's a pretty good ending point with what we had. I encourage anybody who missed the first hour. Mihaly had an incredible story, and hopefully we'll get some more of that story from you over the coming weeks.
Yeah.
Because you're going to be involved in a bit of this and then definitely in the studio and all of that. You said you didn't have any socials or YouTube or anything like that for people to check out.
I'm just a guy.
You change your mind on any of that, or are you going to...
Just a guy. I got nothing to plug.
I respect it.
One day.
I respect it.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to be getting up early tomorrow to go look at this space, so...
Hell yeah.
I'm glad you could join us, Mihaly. Everybody who joined in the chat, thank you. And Michelle, I saw you chatting from over on X. Thank you. I know YouTube was a little bit janky today, it seems like, but the X replay, Rumble, all of that seems like it worked pretty well. The next time you will see me live will probably be on Thursday for the debate. It said it started at 9 o'clock. We may start a little earlier than that. Mihaly is going to bring some Hungarian moonshine.
That's right. Palinka, baby.
Say it again.
Palinka. Palinka.
Oh, that's easy. Hey, that's easy.
Yeah. Palinka.
Palinka. Mm-hmm. We're going to black out like Hungarians do.
Agasegura.
I bet you're fucking great drunk, dude. No, we're not really going to get that out of control. But it's going to be a good time. I'll have some content in between now and then. And just to keep everybody in the loop, if you care, the studio idea, a month or so roughly, something like that. The two of us and a number of other people as well are hoping to talk to you from our permanent home here in the not-too-distant future, definitely before the election. And then we're really going to take off with the content Maybe someday we'll get to make a movie, something like that. That'd be cool. I don't know. But thank you, Mihaly. Thank you for joining us. Thank you, chat.
Thank you, Robert.
Oh, yeah, there you go. Thanks, Robert. Being polite, unlike all you other madmen. And look at that. Right at the end there is Tingley, our unicorn with the 6-month white badge. There's got to be a number of other you that are about to get the white badge also. So you get the yellow badge until 6 months, the white, and then after a year, I think you get a blue one or something like that. Oh. Access to other things like that. In the interim, everything going on with this show, you can keep track of through... I'm going to have to pull it up again. thirdcontinentalcongress.org, right here. As it loads, delegate map. We got a little blog, the magazine going if you're a writer, if you don't want to show your face but you write. And then, of course, the store. Loading, which is where I got this custom-made Dodger shirt, and also, my God, I almost forgot Dodger. How do I do this? The shoes. I got them. Don't let your memes be dreams. Where's camera 4? That's maybe a little better. Bang. So I'm going to be pickling the beast in my custom 3cc John Ward shoes with this 3cc. I mean, this thing's actually pretty fucking sweet. I'm pretty happy with it. Thank you, Dodger. It's got the hood lining with the Harambe logos. I feel like I should go spray paint something. I should go do some tagging or things like that. But that all helps support Dodger's artwork, which he does for us for free. All the stuff goes straight to him. And then to support the channel, all the usual ways on the store, something like a sticker you could put places. I didn't tell you to put them anywhere illegal. Supporting the channel also. The Unconscious Pursuit of Epicurean Ataraxia by the Old Boys of Central Pennsylvania by John Ward. That's on Amazon. Supports the channel. It's kind of a fun, quick read about some blue-collar guys. That's it. That's all I got for today. Any final words?
No, thank you for having me.
Yeah, this was great, man. We will see you live again on Thursday, but there will be more content in the interim. So, that is it for today. I am John Ward, and until next time, remember, you are a world champion. Don't let your memes be dreams.
First time.